I started reading Arnold Schwarzenegger's new book, and it's called Be Useful, right? And he talks about this, and I think this is way as well quite a lot, and you just mentioned it as well, which is like making things like really like simple. So for him, it was like, I want to be this bodybuilding champion, and that was his thing. And so all of a sudden it's like, okay, if that's what I'm trying to get to, like, would this thing I'm doing, this decision I have to make, is it getting me closer or further away from that thing?
Yes.
Like, is me going to grab this chocolate bar right now, is that going to get me to lose that 10 kilograms or not? Probably not. Okay, well, you know, that's not, listen, you got to have, as you said, that leeway and what have you. Now, I don't know what you think about this. I did this burning issues of the week about goal setting, because I'm like the anti-goal setter. In fact, I think it was more than a few weeks ago, because I just think they're very dangerous. Now, you talked about like having someone to look up to, and if that works, then that's great. And if that is something, again, that helps you, like Arnold Schwarzenegger was saying, is like saying, is this getting me closer to that physique or not, type thing. And I get that. I just feel like with goal setting, it's another thing that's kind of, it's interesting, because I don't know whether it's because of age or it wasn't as big a thing. You're a touch older, so maybe you'll be able to shed some light on this a bit. But I don't remember growing up and all these self-help books being a big thing.
Yeah, they weren't. You're right, absolutely.
Well, there wasn't a social media.
Only Tony Robbins back in the 90s, that was it.
Yeah, I don't remember him being around. So I think also you're right, and I'm just thinking about it, that social media obviously has perpetuated this whole. Everybody can become a mentor if you got one follower, which is fine. I'm about that. I don't mind. If everyone's got interesting things to say, that's what my podcast is all about. I don't think it matters who you are and what you are. So, but all of a sudden now, the biggest thing is all about goal setting. Oh, you got to set goals, and this is, well, I remember in business GCSE, right? They used to describe goals, and I actually again mentioned this today with my guy that I mentor, that they used to set goals, and the way you set goals is with SMART as the acronym.
Yes, specific, measurable,
yeah, achievable, realistic, time bound. Yeah, Mr. Hodgson did a good job. I remember it, and yeah, he was a socialist who was a business studies teacher. That's a whole other conversation. A Che Guevara tattoo. We found this out way later. So that's right, what the goal setting was about. And then now there's this whole thing about, okay, I want to lose weight, so I want to lose 10 kilograms. And the trainer will say, okay, but in what time frame? And you're like, okay, let's say like 6 months. Okay, and how are you going to measure? Okay, weekly on the scale, blah, 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 blah. Fine. Now, for some people, that may work. But here's my counter that I think is correct for me, and I've seen it correct for other people. You set these goals, and you achieve that goal of losing the 10 kilograms in 6 months, for argument's sake. I'm telling you now, that high lasts a lot less than you think it will. And in fact, it's so insignificant, I would argue, for the amount of effort you put in, that you get pissed off. And then you go, oh, I've now, because it's what you're told, if you fed this, you've now got to set a loftier goal. You're doing all this stuff to get to this platform, to be discontent, to go to the next thing and be discontent. And you're constantly just in a state of discontent. And on top of that, when you don't achieve the goal, of course, we know that lasts forever. So, right. So hold on a minute. If we know this is the cycle that occurs, the goal setting cycle, let's call it, surely what's the benefit, right? What is the benefit here? So I believe that this goal setting cycle is incredibly dangerous and is actually probably one of the major things that's damaging our society. This goal setting cycle, right, is what I'd kind of describe it.
I completely agree with you. And I tweeted the other day, I said, you know, the journey is the goal. Literally, I tweeted a few days ago, the journey is the goal. And I'll give you an example. Because I used to work in sports medicine, and we used to get terrible depression, athletes with depression who had actually won something. So they win, you know, competition, Commonwealth Games, student games, whatever the case may be, British medal in diving, and they'd be depressed afterwards because they had achieved their goal. So you got a rock bottom moment, which you described for yourself, but you also got a rock top moment. rock top moment is when you actually achieve what you wanted to. You've achieved the goal, but then you go into depression because you've got nothing else to look forward to. And it's the chasing the goal which gives you the dopamine. But once the goal has been achieved and chased, nothing left to chase anymore, what happens to the dopamine? It comes crashing down. That's why I agree with you. So, we are constantly shifting the goalpost and the yardsticks constantly keep moving. That's why to enjoy life fully, you have to be, the goal has to be the journey.